Hello, I'm Gary Lyon, and this is the 2015 wash-up for the Saints. 6 wins and a draw so far this season. I think they've surprised a few people this year, Damo, and I'm one of them, and I think they've been fantastic.
Yeah, my hand's up on that front too, guys. I really liked their efforts. There were some pretty horrible losses throughout the course of the year, but they bounced back regularly, didn't they? And right to the end, they hung in there, and I reckon as a result of that, there's a lot to like about what lies ahead.
Alan Richardson has got them playing with great effort, and he's introduced a whole heap of young kids, and that's my season highlight, Damo, on the back of boys like Loney. They've got about 3,000 jacks in the side, and they're all pretty good. Loney is skillful, talented, wants to be a good player. This kid, Jack Sinclair...
He's a great story out of the entire season, isn't he?
He's a great story. I mean, he's off the rookie list, up and down. Looked like his time was going to pass him,
but he's
there. And so you got him at both ends of the spectrum. You got the #1 draft pick. You got big Paddy McCartan, who got some really valuable game time. He needs another really tough summer, and he's going to be a player. Don't worry. Be patient with him, Saints fans. Really love this kid. Goddard, competitive in the back half. And Daniel McKenzie, who people at St Kilda will tell you is going to be a really important player with his run, carry and kicking. So they're the youngsters that have been introduced, and I like them all.
Yep. I'm going back to round 6, guys. The now famous comeback against Western Bulldogs. They were 55 points down at one stage, and then this young man, who we'll talk about later as well, Jack Billings, just took it upon himself. He made a couple of mistakes just prior to that moment there, and then this is the one I really like. He had a couple of options here if you want to argue the call, but just took the moment and took the responsibility, kicked the goal, and he had left the score like that. It was an amazing comeback against a team which is going to be playing finals.
Yeah, it was the announcement of Jack Billings, and then sadly injury interrupted in the back half of the year. But don't worry, that kid is absolute elite class. Low lights has to be low lights, of course. Adam Schneider, who's only just recently retired, but this was an opportunity against St Kilda early in the season. Against Essendon, and look, I mean, we've been a bit picky because there are other instances, but you'd expect the player of Schneider's ability to nail both of those.
Both of them. I mean, that's what he did throughout his career, and look, they lost that game by a matter of points.
79-81 when he did that, ends up 80-82, the Bombers win, so that's my low light.
Yep. We've touched on Jack Billings already a couple of times in this segment already, Gaz, but that was my low light, just the fact that he lost half the season or thereabouts just through injury, and really robbed the Saints of any more surge.
What's developing a lot of momentum is a Christmas bonus, Damo, and the size of the bonus that is handed out.
Yeah.
And I'm handing out well, I actually took a bit back because Josh Bruce started this sort of form in round 1. He was a juggernaut. He was in the top couple in the Coleman medal there. He's got 48 goals for the season, and I'm handing out a pretty substantial bonus to a guy they took from GWS who played mainly as a defender and now has become a magnificent foil for Nick Riewoldt, and allowed Nick in the final years of his career to get up the ground and have a little bit less pressure.
I think even in the pre-season that Alan Richardson wasn't sure that was what was going to happen forward-line-wise, and great result. David Armitage is my Christmas bonus man, Gaz. I just felt that he really stepped up. A couple of years ago, he could have gone either way. He was having a nice career, but he's now putting together a very, very good football career. And this has been, to me anyway, his best year. And the leadership that he displays around that club, he still likes to muck around a bit, which I think is great for a footy club, but he does it in the context, in the right context now. And his form stood up.
Big bonus, or what are you
I'm giving him a good bonus. Good. Probably bigger than the one you're giving Josh Bruce.
Big sheets into a big bag. Well done to Armour. Always good, has to be bad. Chopping block. Now, we're pretty brutal here. I don't think you have to be brutal. Tom Lee... high draft pick, high investment, low return. McCartan in the side, Bruce in the side. Nick's still going to be around for another 12 months. Off you go, Tom.
Off you go. Farron Ray's in the same boat for me, guys, just simply because he's now got to 29, played for 2 clubs, played a lot of footy. But, look, I don't know there's a lot of currency for him, but I think his time's up at the Saints.
All right, what do they need to get better going forward? That young group of players that I alluded to earlier, you got Riewoldt, you got Montagna, Dempster, Fisher, all coming towards the end. They've got to keep improving.
Yeah.
They can't stand still, and I don't think they will because they're quality. Alan Richardson's got a good group around him. They've got to keep improving if this side's going to get back into finals contention.
Yep. I'm looking at the midfield specifically by way of improvement requirements, guys. You rattled off those young kids before. They're only going to be in their 2nd or 3rd year of footy, behind Armitage and Steve, and you can probably throw Dunson in there now as well. That does fall away from a depth perspective, but that's the challenge for Alan Richardson and those kids.
All right, Damo, this is a crunch time. Up for the Saints, down, or are they going to stay around the same area?
I've got them going up. I mean, I just feel they're going to win 2 2, maybe in 3 more games, and they won this year. And for that reason alone, they're higher placed next year than they are now.
I've got them staying around the same area, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because the older blokes are going to come towards the end whilst these young kids come pushing through. But if they can maintain this and perhaps pinch another win or two, I think that's a pretty good sign for the Saints. So big tick all round for the St Kilda Footy Club. I think it's been a positive year. Thank you very much, Damien. Nice to have you. That's the wash-up for the Saints in 2015.
New Gurney Power Grip. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.